Hello, and welcome back to the Poorly Written Podcast. Today's intro is a fun fact. Did you know that that at least half of every podcast does not make it past 3 episodes? So if you're listening to this now, we've made it well past 3 episodes.
Is this actually true, or are you just pulling shit out of your ass?
This is verified information from Apple Podcasts.
Interesting.
So 50% of all podcasts ever made do not get past 3 episodes. But today we are celebrating 1 year of doing podcasting with 41 episodes at this point. So round of applause, everyone. Good intro. Yay.
The only podcast where we applaud ourselves. Everybody applaud again.
Yay! I like this. I like this a lot. I
really felt like we needed to do the only podcast where somewhere.
The only podcast where we're somewhere. What?
I said we were feeling ourselves.
I mean, this is supposed to be a fun episode. We made it to a year, even though it comes out the day before a year, but close enough. I almost titled this the 1 year anniversary minus 1 day, but you know, that's just dumb. kind of hitting the nail on the head, you know, like a little too much. But this is the 1 year anniversary episode. We made it. So if you've been here for the entire year, congrats. Thanks for sticking around.
No, it was really hard, but I did it for you, Zach. You were talking to the audience.
I was talking to the audience. Yeah, we got plot points coming up. I'm not sure if we're killing off Hannah or Sarah or Mike yet, so maybe I'll kill myself off the show.
Can't kill off Mike. We still need to get him a webcam.
That's true. How do we help Mike get a webcam?
He's got his own story going on.
He's got his own subplot going on. I like this arc that we have for Mike. But how do we get Mike his own webcam? Good question. Thanks for asking, Sarah. The way to get Mike a webcam, if you help us get all of our social media accounts, not all of them, but just 4 of them, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If they all get over 100 followers each, Mike gets a webcam.
Sure does.
He sure does. And if you look at his...
And Zach, don't forget, you said Mike could pick the webcam.
Yeah, and I have to buy it.
It's a very important detail. So, Mike gets to pick it out.
Funny enough, my mom saw the video we posted on social media, and she's like, do they make webcams with cup holders? I'm like, no, but we will find it. We will make sure.
I'm gonna get Elon Musk on the phone right now.
Elon Musk is like, cancel all my meetings. I must figure this out. Yeah. So, you know, people are paying attention. Our social media accounts have been slightly going up, so people are listening to us, which is nice for once. You better unmute. India's being comfy in bed right now. She's like, I just want to chill in bed.
And what about
Understandable.
Anyways, let's get into today's episode, you know, because that's pretty important. The 1 year anniversary. What do we have in store? Well, it's not like the Crappies. I mean, this is not an award show. I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts right now. 2 of us are at least in blankets. Mike's doing whatever he wants, and Hannah has a hoodie on, so not formal.
The Jets.
The Jets.
I'm a Giant fan.
The Jets? Mike, do you see that? It's the Jets.
Oh, great. Another loser in the group.
Oh. Oh, Mike. Okay, whatever. We're gonna ignore that.
Michael, do you want to talk about it?
The fact that I'm the only Jets fan in a 15-mile radius. Yes, please.
We can
have like a Mets.
That's different.
They're actually good now. The Wilpons are gone.
Did you just say the Jets are good?
No, the Mets.
No, Mets.
The Mets.
Baseball.
Oh.
You know, park peanuts.
Baseball is the only thing that matters to me at this point.
Yeah, enjoy the Mets while they're good for now. And then they'll fizzle out during the summer days, and then towards the dog days, they'll just crap out.
You know what? Let us have our little successes, all right? We don't have 27 World Series trophies like the Yankees. We only have 2.
I'm not even a Yankees fan. You're attacking the wrong group. I've told you I'm a Dodgers fan.
You're a Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
He's a damn front runner.
What
I
did
don't
you?
know
hate-
sports, and I knew Zach was a Dodgers fan. I couldn't tell you what sport it was, but I know that he likes the Dodgers.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, let's move into the episode because if we keep talking about politics, I'm canceling the episode. I don't like politics. That's a lie. Anyways, we're gonna kind of recap the year that we've had, even though we're like in the middle of season 2. We'll recap the year that we had. We're gonna go into the chaos bracket chaos. I flipped those 2 words. Maybe next year I'll file a trademark and be forced to use the right one.
Oh boy.
We'll talk about that. The excitement, the upsets, the drama. And then we'll announce the final 4, the winners, and also first, second, and third. You know, I have a little bit of a ranking going on, and that's basically it. So I guess we want to start. This year it's really been crazy, all the growth we've seen. I mean, we literally started off, I think the first couple weeks we weren't hitting anything more than maybe 10 people at most.
Most of them were Zach's mom, just listening multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate one, but
I was totally kidding, but thanks, Zach's mom.
Thanks, Zach's mom. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for supporting. Because we started this, we did a couple live streams. And then I'm like, we might as well just do a podcast. I mean, the live streams are doing good, but we're like, oh, let's just do a podcast. Let's make it easier.
That time we played Club Penguin before they got shut down.
Because of
Again.
the owner being a pedophile. Anyways, moving past that. Yeah, we were doing... Great times. We did Cards Against Humanity. I mean, we kind of want to do that one again, but we'll talk about that later. But, anyways, the point being is that, we've kind of went from, people to kind of interested. Now people are definitely noticing, I mean, between YouTube and podcasting and the website and stuff like that, we're doing good. Doing good.
Yeah, we are.
Plus.
That's a plus. We're building it. These things take time and growth. I mean, you're not going to just be like, oh, I did a podcast and now I am a big podcast influencer, because that's not how this shit works. I mean, that's not how this works, but...
Still waiting for paid partnerships on my Instagram, but poorly written podcast is not helping me at all. Let's get a move on, people.
Come on, we got chop. Come on, let's go. But it's really been a good way to see the growth. I mean, because some of our social media accounts have literally just been stagnant. It went from 10 people following. Facebook's almost to 100 as is.
Nice.
Mike, you're a quarter of the way there.
Almost. He's got to make it. He's a fifth of the way there at this point.
Oh, you said 4 social medias: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
You're
and
plugging it again.
But yeah, because you told me it was a 5th, but you said 4 of them.
Yeah, a
So
fifth
I'm
of
just-
the way
I'm just
there.
cor- I'm
not
just
a-
correcting you.
Oh my god! Can I fight
Wait,
Hannah? Do I
Who
have
was right,
permission?
Zach? Can you say it one more time, just for the audience?
Can I fight Hannah?
The audience.
Do I have permission to fight?
What's crazy is that I would low-key like to see that fight. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so WrestleMania is gonna be the tag team with Martin and Nick and Tony and
Yes.
Teddy, or was it the other way around? And then the second match will just be me and Zach.
No,
one
it,
on one.
it was. I think it was Tony and Martin, and then Nick and Teddy. That was super early. That was way earlier.
That was episode
3.
2, 3.
3. 1 was the non-sponsored pilot. 2 was Tiger King, which
Tiger King.
that chaos is still going on in a much lower capacity. I mean, I guess now Joe Exotic might accept a reduced sentence plea from Carol Baskin. This was new information today, because they're trying
Good
to
timing.
because they're trying to pass the Big Cat Rescue Act, which would ban all private ownership of big cats and exotic animals. So Joe Exotic is willing to testify in front of Senate in exchange for reducing his sentence, and that was being done through Carol Baskin's camp. So it's a very weird time. 2020 was super weird, but 2021 is also weird in its own way.
So is he testifying against Carol Baskin, or is he saying these are the reasons
They're
why
teaming up.
they shouldn't do this?
It's it's like if Spider-Man teams up with Green Goblin, like just for the greater good. It's weird.
That's incredibly hypocritical on Carol Baskin's part because I think she treated the animals a lot worse than Joe Exotic. But this isn't Tiger King 2.
No, but that second season of Tiger King is going to be wild because they are doing one, so we'll see.
I can't wait for that.
They're also
episode.
doing a fictionalized version.
Yeah,
I
they're
forget,
doing a
there's an actor who just signed on.
dramatized version. I don't know if they're just basing it off the events of Tiger King, but like they have like 3 different versions of the show going around. But we're really
Like
digging
the big
deep.
one they just
We're really digging deep into our roster of episodes. I mean, we're digging deep. Like, I'm pulling up the
Very
list
deep.
right now. We're in, like, the first 3 episodes. And then episode 4 was Too Much Time to Think 1. So, I mean, we're kind of... That was a really good one, all on its own. I mean, like, it was the first time we were like, yeah, let's just do one. And then Sonic for Best Picture. But then episode 6 was the Black Lives Matter protest and more. That was a really good one, too. And then Canceling... I mean, the first... Like, I feel like we kind of picked up steam a little bit after episode 5. Because then our content got a lot more diverse, but also, like... I feel like in a way it got better.
Yeah.
Because let's just face it, the first couple episodes of, like, a brand new thing is not always the best. Like, heck, I was watching Game of Dorm stuff again. I was rewatching Game of Dorm stuff recently, and I'm like, geez, some of this has not aged well. Some of it has, and it's good to see. I was feeling nostalgic this week, if you will.
We were talking about it on the last episode too, so I guess it makes sense.
Because I think Sarah's the only one who remembers Game of Dorms.
Yeah, you brought me on for crew and you taught me how to do audio on camera. That was when you became my frog.
Frog and tadpoles. That's what we're worried about right now.
So like I did watch the whole thing,
Yeah,
front to back.
yeah.
It's for you, Zachary.
Just for me. That was
All
some-
that, and it was
There's a
for
cute
our
show
other
of-
show when we did our reboot trailer. I needed to know.
yeah.
Needed to know the part.
You needed to know the part, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about poorly written podcasts. I mean, like, what was some of
That-
your guys' favorite?
I'm in a mood tonight. I'm sorry.
Hannah's feeling a type of way. What do you guys feel like was like kind of like your favorite episodes from this season?
Ooh.
I like the artist one we did.
The artist one.
Like we did, like, can you separate like the art from the artist? Cancel culture.
Oh, cancel
thing.
culture. That's from season 2. So that's more recently than from like season 1 and all.
Was
that
that not allowed?
That was allowed. I said from the year, not from the season. So I guess that's allowed. Yes, that is allowed, Sarah. Good job. Good job. What? Turn your mic on.
You didn't specify. You didn't say it was only from season 1 or only from season
I said
2.
year 1. I said it technically counts, though.
On a technicality.
The technicality, which is a smart move by Sarah, so good job. I see your dad
Is
dad
that
is rubbing off on you.
father lawyer
What?
kind of
No.
thing? Semantics are important.
I don't know what to do with you. But the cancel culture was a good one. That was a fairly recent one, but I did like that one. You know, we got to talk a lot about like things just things weren't what they used to be. So
Yeah,
what's
I
another
like that one.
what's another one that we've liked? I mean, it's hard to be like, oh, I like this particular episode versus another one, especially for me because like I worked on all of them.
It's
And
like picking your favorite child.
yeah, it's a little hard, but
We all have.
you know some
We won't
episodes
say it
were,
out loud.
you know some episodes were way better than others. I mean, not every episode's going to be an absolute banger. I mean,
Grammys episode was great.
Which one?
The Grammys.
Grammys.
Yes, that was a good one.
That was a good one. That was a very good one. Shout out to Kayla for coming on with that, because that was a very good one.
We need to have her back on for the Oscars or whatever, or the Razzies, whatever.
Well, the Oscars are this Sunday, so by the time this episode comes out, it'll be too late.
Oh, fair enough.
I think my favorite ones to work on personally were probably I remember very vividly sitting down and watching all of Tiger King, and I liked the whole idea of preparing for the episode. I did not like watching Tiger King. I liked doing that one. I think my favorite two, I'm gonna pick a more fun one and then a more serious one. I definitely like doing the movie one with you, Zach, and Alex and Nathaniel, because I really don't know what I'm talking about with like the cinema stuff and stuff like that. Like Alex and Nathaniel were like pointing out all these like facts and details, and I'm like, okay, but let me tell you about Sonic the Hedgehog and these facts about Trolls World Tour when it came out. I had so many. I'm like, here's how much the money that Trolls World Tour made the box office, and I'm like, man, these guys probably think I'm a loser because I know all of this. I think my favorite serious one was probably our most improvised and last minute episode was the Capitol episode.
Yeah,
we were in between seasons, and we were just like, we need to do an episode on this. And I think it was one of our most raw and straight from our hearts, if that makes any sense. But I think those honestly were my favorite to work on personally and to work with you guys on.
Yeah, because, I mean, the Capitol riots one was like, I mean, honestly, we were all, I think to say, like, we were shocked, but we weren't surprised that something like that was going to happen, but it's still shocking to see. But I'm glad on this show we're able to, like, yeah, we're a comedy podcast, and we're like, oh, we're going to talk about fun stuff, but when we can get serious about it, that's also good, too, because a lot of people do appreciate the serious episodes that we do, because like it shows that like the show's grounded, so we're not just like off in la la land and we're like, oh, we're high on life, we're doing great, everything's fantastic, and we're like, hey, look, sometimes shit happens. I mean,
yeah,
like bad shit happens sometimes, and we got to talk about it, and people do appreciate.
I don't think we even were like, should we do an episode on this? I think somebody, I want to say Lewis, jumped in and was like, when are we doing an episode on this?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, we're doing an emergency episode on this. And
yeah,
like usually all six of us main people are like, what do we want to do for this episode? Who thinks this one's a good idea? Who thinks this is a bad idea? But all of us are just like, of course we're going to do an episode on this, even though we're in between seasons. Like nobody was like questioning it. Everyone's just like, duh, of course we're going to do an episode.
Exactly. I mean, that was kind of an obvious one. It's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter protest too. That was an obvious one. I mean,
absolutely.
Now after the trial and verdict had been given out, of course sentencing pending, but still, you know, Derek Chauvin being convicted, it should have been suspenseful, but we're not really going to dive into that one today because that's not the main topic. But you know, it's funny to see like those kind of serious ones and see how the topics pan out and all that. But the fun ones, I'm glad you mentioned that because like we've had some really fun ones. Lady Mikkel, wow, awesome podcast. India really likes that episode.
Wow, awesome podcast was like one of my favorites. Shout out to Lady Michaela. You are the bomb. We love you.
I had a lot of compliments on that episode.
That was literally the number when I was like going through the views and stuff. It's like that was the number 2. She's so interesting. She really is. It's hard. Like that was a really good one too. I mean, like there's no denying like what that episode was. I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong. That was a great episode. We've had a lot of great guests on. Can we talk about the guests really quick before like we move on to anything else? Because we've had a range.
We had some good range of guests.
We've had good range of guests. Like we've covered sports, stand-up comedy. We've covered feminism, politics. You know, like politics.
We've covered Halloween, cosplayers.
Like not to mention traveling and you know gaming and all that. We've had some great guests on. And then more recently, like podcast beefs with each other, and then the Grammys. I mean, we're still planning on having more guests on, but there's been some really good episodes from this first year of doing podcasting. But definitely something I've noticed is like I've gone back and listened to the first couple episodes, for snippets and stuff, I noticed that like my editing, not to toot my own horn, but my editing has gotten a lot better. Thanks, Hannah. Thanks. I don't toot my horn that often, so thanks, you know.
No, you deserve it. Be
No,
confident.
you do. I think the editing definitely has gotten better.
Yeah.
Well, say it in my face. India, say it.
Zachary, you do toot your own horn. Don't lie.
She said what we were all thinking.
I don't toot my horn that often. I really don't, but...
She is calling you out.
She's calling me out. She thinks she's safe.
India woke up and chose violence.
She woke up and chose violence. Once I stop the recording on this, I'm gonna go up and like suplex. I'm gonna be like,
You better not. That's my girl.
some WWE style.
Zach, I will beat you. I tell him that like all the time. Whenever he gets on my nerves, I look at him. I'm like, I'm gonna beat you. Like you're gonna get beaten.
Yeah, that's like.
I mean, I would bet on
That's a threat, but it's like it's whatever. I mean, my
We don't actually fight each other.
we don't. There's no
Guys,
domestic
watch.
violence.
Tomorrow
going
I'll post the crime scene pictures of like India's mugshot for her domestic violence charges. He
it's
had
gonna
it
be like that
coming.
Flash.
He had it coming.
Hey,
Like my fights are just like so minimal. Like he'll get on my nerves, and I'll be like, you know what, Zach, just go fuck off. And he's like, all right, and then he leaves me alone. And that's basically it.
how does everybody know this? How
We
does
know you, Zach.
how does everybody know how I react?
'Cause we all
'Cause we
know
just
you.
know.
Just know.
We all
We've known you for like
interact
3
with you.
years.
Yeah, I think out of this entire group, Hannah has known me the longest. So
have. It's true.
it's
I don't
true.
know how I'm still here.
I don't know why you even talk to me. You're just like you know me as a person at this point. Like, there's no excuses to still hang out with me.
It's funny because we both went to two of the same colleges, and we barely spoke at community college. And then when I got to Oswego, you're like, hey, you want to come do this? I'm like, oh, I kind of know this guy, and I honestly feel like a chump for not being Zach's friend at community college, because now
Ooh.
here we are, and Zach's one of my best friends, and I'm like, damn, I really wish I would have had more of a bond with him in community college. But
Well, you were off doing
No.
theater stuff. I was off doing radio stuff. So like,
I mean, it's true. But
we were down
The
in
paths didn't.
I'm just saying you're kind of cool, Zach, and I wish I would have taken that opportunity to ask in your coolness sooner.
Zach, she is tooting your horn for you.
She's
It's like
tooting mine. No,
It's
I'm not
not
gonna
very
let my
often
ego
that
show. We gotta
Hannah-
move on. Gotta move on. Basically,
It's not very often that Hannah is praising Zach. So in honor of our first anniversary, I just thought I'd put you on a pedestal a little bit there, Zach. Don't expect it until next year, though. Again,
yeah, it's like Christmas. You just only get it once a year. It's fine.
right? Exactly.
Thank you, Hannah.
Tomorrow I'll be making fun of you again.
Yeah, literally. Well, I'll be like, hey guys, the good episode. It's like, fuck you, Zach.
Yes, there you go.
Right in front of a guest.
I'll be like, welcome back. Fuck you, Zach. It's like, thanks. Yeah, great to be back.
We're only 2 seconds in the episode. What did I do this time?
That's literally how the intros have been going. I've noticed I've been getting worse
It's
at
true.
intros. That's something I've noticed from like earlier episodes. I knew exactly what I was gonna do. Now I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out on the way there. That sometimes a year, like you just gotta run out of ideas in one place, but like
See,
other
I'm
areas.
just trying to help whenever I interrupt. I'm just trying to save your ass.
This needs to be saved.
Save.
Anybody else have anything? Anybody else want to like beat up Zach at the moment?
Nah, you're pretty cool.
No, I try to do it physically instead of verbally.
I got nothing at the moment. Give me a few minutes.
That's good.
We'll think of something.
Mike is very quiet, but he will just
Mike-
quietly shit on you too. He's
Mike
a
will shit on Zach's life, and it'll be the funniest thing ever.
it's
Because Mike is like the nicest guy, but like he shits on Zach's life so fucking hard, you would never expect it.
Was
That
one
is-
time I ever thought Mike was gonna whoop Zach's ass, and boy, I was scared.
whoops.
It was when Zach started a riot outside of a pizza shop.
Ooh, that's right. Yeah, Mike. I'm 95% sure Mike wanted to fight me, but
I thought he was gonna throw him across the street
talk-
in front of a
we'll
bus.
talk about that story another time when it's legally safe.
I hope we do.
Let's
Someone's
move.
gonna tell me that story, right?
I mean, we didn't do anything illegal.
I wasn't
That's
there.
true.
I couldn't drink.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll tell
true,
that
she
story
couldn't.
another time. But let's. Does anybody else have anything about episodes from this past year?
I liked when we did the redneck review podcast when they.
That
came
was a
on our
good one. We got beef.
That was
'cause
a fun one.
that was a fun one because all the meditation, all these like self-help podcasts were just everywhere. But since then, they've quieted down a little bit, so it worked.
Once again, the day is saved thanks to the poorly written podcast.
Yay! It's
and
like
their friends, the rednecks.
and their friends from the Redneck Review podcast. Man, what a great crossover. I'll bug those guys again, but I think to kind of wrap up my whole thing, because I really want to get into like this bracket stuff that we did, because that was a really fun one. Nobody's talked about the crappies.
I love the crappies. That was so fun.
That was a lot of fun.
That's because the crappies are so obvious. We wanted to do like more niche takes.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. I mean, like the Too Much Time to Think series, like we made 5 of them. I think personally, in my opinion, we might have made one too many, but maybe that's just me.
What are you talking about?
Maybe we made one too
No.
many
They're
or one
fun.
not enough. I mean,
You're crazy.
yeah, you know what? I'm just thinking out loud at this point. That'd be nuts. That'd be nuts. But I guess
Yeah,
if
Zach,
we're
we don't exactly need to hear your thoughts out loud like 24/7, buddy. That's what Twitter's for.
Michael!
India might have chosen violence. Mine chose annihilation.
India chose violence. Mike
God.
chose violate. No, there's a difference. India just chooses violence, but Mike chooses to violate you.
So, Zach, I'm putting in my 2 weeks because I don't want it to be a part of any of this fire.
All right. Let's move to a safer space. Let's move
my
on. Let's move on.
All we wanted to
Yeah.
do was talk about the crappies, but Mike just came
Well,
after
Mike just
Zach.
took a fucking dump on me.
So,
He's
Hey,
like,
I
shit
said
on
give
your
me a few
grave.
minutes.
He's like, shit on your grave. Anyways, let's talk about, the chaos bracket that we did. Instead of calling it like season 1 March Madness, I decided to do chaos bracket because that's what every March Madness
Sure
bracket
did.
is. It was sure chaos.
And
What?
it was a safer bracket to use than the March Madness this year.
Yeah, because the March Madness bracket, although I did enjoy this March Madness a lot more than previous ones, it was absolutely nuts. But anyways,
Yeah, put all my money down on Syracuse
why would you do that?
because they actually gave me
You could
hope
have
for a
just
minute.
taken your hundreds and just flushed it down your toilet.
Like the first,
You should have known better.
Mike, you should have known.
Yeah, I really should.
All the way, no. Sweet 16, guaranteed. Because they're willing to fuck.
their team.
Like once they're past once they're in the Sweet 16, it's the gloves are hands free. They do whatever they want at that point. But I have the official
got the
bracket
top.
right here
Ooh, he's got it.
Oh, fun.
for the audio listeners. I have my phone pulled up. Now you guys were paying attention to who was winning and all that. I didn't get the way this bracket website work. It made it really hard to just post a small section of it. It's like, no, here's the whole thing, you figure it out. And then it was pixelated. But when you were watching the matchups going on and stuff, did you notice anything like going on, any patterns or anything?
I think
Anybody?
like I think like the majority themed episodes were of course more popular than the like Too Many Times to Think. That's obvious.
Yeah, because I don't think a single Too Much Time to Think won their match. Like, all the Too Much Time to Think, so 1 through 5 of those. None of them won. Except for number 5, which beat another Too Much Time to Think.
Hey.
Yay, you beat up on your brother, and
I
then
think,
the
I
neighbors...
think with those ones, it's difficult because I think the ones that always got the higher scores were the ones with guests. So I'm thinking like those people's friends were like, oh, I'm obviously going to go vote for my friend's episode, which I mean, to each their own.
Yep.
Sometimes the main cast is a little boring. We got to spice it up a little bit,
Yeah,
you know, with a Julia here or a Jordan Harvey there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will point out that Too Much Time to Think 3 did have a guest, so it was Eli.
Remind me who it was.
It was Eli, and he did.
That's right.
Ooh, sorry, Eli. He didn't even make it out of the first round. Ooh, sorry.
Better Eli.
We'll invite him on for a much more serious topic next time. You know, like we'll get him back. We'll get him
And
back.
Justin didn't even make it out.
Yeah. I would like to point out that like the first round there was just some absolute blowouts, and when I mean blowouts, like wipe the floor. Like people just like really took to some of these episodes over others. I mean, I think the more surprising one, I was surprised Black Lives Matter was pinned against Halloween Special. Like that was a very
Did not expect that one either.
I mean, I expected Black Lives Matter, but I thought the Halloween Special would get a little more love. I'm like, not even a little bit closer. But, you know, it was just interesting to see what people were going for. Mind you, we did the voting on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord server. So we didn't even get the people on Facebook. We were trying to get people from Facebook to go follow us on all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But there were some good matchups. I mean, TikTok v Trump versus Tiger King. I mean, I figured that one was like a toss-up. It was like, all right, it's going to be whatever. I didn't expect that one to go very far. Something's going on. But the only one, I thought there would be more tiebreakers based on the way people were voting, but there was only one I had to do a tiebreaker on. And it was going international versus what was that after the first presidential debate. And I was very surprised that one was like a tiebreaker. I thought the presidential debate episode would have won, but I did the tiebreaker. The tiebreaker was that I would flip a coin, and then I would assign an episode to heads or tails. So like it would just randomly pick an episode, and then I flip the coin, and then I would assign it to heads or tails. And then I flip the coin 5 times and see who won. Best 3 out of 5. And going international got 3 out of the 4 coin tosses I did. So I mean, I'm like, I can't fight it. It's what happened. So, but you know, the next round, going international got decimated. But I'm not trying to talk bad about these episodes too, because like there was a lot of good episodes that just didn't make it because they were pinned up against like bad, like not bad, but like other great episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like Not Safe for France and Wow Awesome Podcast, I'm like that was a really good matchup. Not Safe for France literally snuck by like in the last like 10 minutes. Somebody voted in the last 10 minutes, and that was it. Literally
Winning shot at the buzzer.
Yeah, basically.
Little squeaker.
No kidding.
Like I was like, it's still tied. I checked back after, and I'm like, oh geez, somebody voted at the last second. Somebody got it in. Amateur Hour went on a bit of a run. I mean, they were in the Elite 8 of this whole thing. I mean, you guys were watching along with it too when I announced results and stuff. What kind of surprised you in like terms of upsets? No, don't tell me.
Uh,
Don't tell me you guys were hiding out on perfect brackets.
I remember voting in them. There's a lot going on the past week in my family. So.
Yeah, in Sarah's world, there's been a lot going on.
It definitely bummed me out that too much time to think and get up as far. But like I said a few minutes ago, the ones with guests make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the majority of these had guests on. So
Yeah.
I think there's only a couple where I think the non-sponsor pilot was one without any guests. I think that was like the only one. I mean, at the time when Canceling Confederates went out, Lewis was technically a guest. But, you know, then since he did...
Forget Lewis wasn't an OG.
Yeah, he wasn't an OG.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lewis. He's listening now, probably, and he's like, "I am an OG." I'm like, "Not here."
Technically speaking. Rest in peace, Nick.
And Nick ran off and did his own podcast for his job. He gets paid for that podcast.
That little slime ball.
You better send him this episode.
I didn't know that. One, I wish he would have told me he was on a podcast. That way I could go and support him. And two, that little slime ball. He left us to go get paid.
How dare him get a full-time job somewhere? How dare
If
him?
you're listening, I'm
How
coming.
dare he?
We know where you
Wanna
live,
get-
Nick.
How dare you start a career? How dare you not do this for free on your own time?
Yeah, I mean, the ones with guests did generally better than the ones without guests. Although the Philly Special and Sonic for Best Picture were like neck and neck, Philly Special pulled ahead at the last second.
Sonic.
Poor Sonic. He never really stood a chance at the Oscars, but he stood a better chance here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how that went.
Sonic, you're still a winner in my book, man.
Well, there you go. There's a winner over there. Anybody else have any surprising upsets? Because I was very surprised. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but like there was an upset because I thought that Amateur Hour would upset the non-sponsored pilot, but maybe that was me. It was close too. I mean, like it was close. It was like by like 2 votes that the non-sponsored pilot. I thought Amateur Hour would like do better.
Yeah.
Make it to that final 4. Anybody else got any thoughts or anything?
I'm still pissed that the Crappies got to 3rd place and that's it.
Right.
We're gonna talk about
More crappy.
who else was pissed about the Crappies not getting into the championship matchup. India, were you mad too?
Deserved more.
I was really mad because I know you like worked really hard on that, and like it was just like a conglomerate of one of our all of our greatest episodes, and we had all those guests on there present like the awards and the winners, and like I just thought that was really cool. But I really wanted that one to win.
I feel like everybody wanted that one to win, but for whatever reason it did not. And mind you, the score was 6-5, so like it was very, very close. Like it was another one of those where it was like 5-5 for a long time, and it was going down to it, and I'm like, oh geez, like here we go. There was a lot of those moments. If it was like a score of like 2 or less, it was because somebody voted at the last minute. But I saw that, and I was very surprised. Like I texted the group, and I'm like, ah. I'm like, you guys are gonna be happy about this championship matchup. But is there any other ones, or do we want to talk about like the final 4 and then get into the
final
winner?
4, please.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into the final 4. First of all, the matchups we already talked about. Canceling Confederates was ranked 21. Now the rankings, I forgot to mention, were just purely based off views alone. They weren't based off like how good they were actually. I just did it based off views just to like make it easy on myself. But maybe next time we'll actually try to rank the episodes a little more appropriately. But so the final 4: Crappies versus Canceling Confederates, and then the non-sponsored pilot versus Not Safe for France. Final 4. Not surprised, but Not Safe for France absolutely obliterated the non-sponsored pilot. I wasn't surprised by that one. When I saw the final four, like when I put it in, I'm like, okay, not safe for France is getting in, but the other one, I have no clue which one is getting in. But, let's get into the third place matchup. You had the Crappies versus the non-sponsor pilot. Now, very quick.
That was a tough one to vote for.
How so? Because I didn't have
They're
any
both
issues.
so near and dear to my heart, because one is our first episode that started all of this mass chaos, and the other one was the Crappies, which we all worked hard on for many weeks. Told almost all of our past guests from the past year. And it was just really hard for me to vote for personally. I don't know about you guys, but
I mean,
I don't even remember what I voted for. I think I just closed my eyes and just clicked the button on Instagram.
That would make a lot of sense, but I mean, for me, it was kind of hard because it's like the first episode ever versus like one of the best episodes we've ever done.
Right, yeah.
So that was a hard one too. I mean, Sarah, Mike, India, like, what are your guys' thoughts? Because like the third place matchup, it was not as easy as it appeared.
Yeah,
I remember I voted for the Crappies.
I voted for the Crappies, but the pilot is the pilot, and that was tough.
You don't mess with the pilot unless you want the plane to crash. Ha 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 ha.
Can we leave now? Can we just end it right there? Because I don't want to be here anymore.
Hey man, I got the
I agree.
spoilers right here. I'll just ruin it right now. Feels like I got the nuclear football. Be like, I'll ruin it right now. So let's talk about that winner. I mean, this was very surprising to see on this one. The winner of the third place matchup is the Crappies. They won 11-2.
Wow.
An absolute blowout. Like I feel like in a way the Crappies should have got into the finals anyways. It just didn't win the week. It didn't win the day it needed to win. So that was a little disheartening to see where it's like, it did so well. But, I mean, no discredit to the non-sponsored pilot. It had a good run too, but it just wasn't gonna... I feel like, despite it being a pilot, it just wasn't gonna be as good as the Crappies in that matchup.
Yeah.
Everyone just sounds so disappointed. They're like, they should have been in there.
I'm grieving. Give me my peace and space.
I'm shocked Arms of an Angel by Sarah McLachlan hasn't started playing in the background.
It's in my head. It's playing in my head.
Alright. We took the moment of silence. Now. It wasn't very much a moment of silence. It's third place! It's not like I spent weeks working on it, but
It's on like the podium or the pedestal or whatever that.
Yeah, it's
thing's
on.
called. It got
Yeah. Like it knew it should have been in at least the championship. Let's talk about the championship matchup: Canceling Confederates and Not Safe for France, which are two very well perceived episodes in the first place. I mean, you got one which is kind of like the follow-up to the Black Lives Matter protests and all that stuff. Then you have one with Julia, who just got accepted back to France, so she'll be going back to France.
It's true.
So maybe we'll have her back on and be like, how's teaching slang to all those French youngsters, like... It's fun.
It's charcuterie, not charcuterie.
Ooh.
Julia, what you got to say about that one?
We'll see what she says. But these are two episodes I really do enjoy a lot. I mean, it wasn't easy for me to vote because I'm like,
They're both my babies.
They're both very good episodes. Like, they're literally, like, the best two standing. I mean, how do we feel about that? I mean, like, the pinnacle of all of that.
I think Julia's always fun to have on, and she brings a really fun energy. And I think canceling Confederates was talking about a hot topic issue at the time, and we brought in like a lot of good sources.
Mhm.
So I think both were well thought out episodes. So
We
it's interesting.
also made fun of a lot of racist people, which was
Yeah.
India's right. Fuck them.
It's not that hard to make fun of racists.
Love Julia very much. I don't really know her that well compared to you guys, but I only met her the handful of times. But we instantly clicked, and I loved her instantly. Like she's such a ray of sunshine, and her passion always gets me interested, which is why I think this episode made it so far. Because I love hearing people talk about their passions. That's why I listened to the episode.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you guys know my kink. It's canceling Confederates. Nothing I love more than telling a Karen she's a piece of shit.
Yeah, telling the
So,
racist
you
Karens
know.
are racist and a piece of shit.
Right, exactly. That's my kink.
What
It
a
gets me
great-
through the day.
What a great 2-in-1 deal. If you just tell them the racist and a piece of
Right.
shit, you get the job done.
1 and 2. Here
One,
we go.
2-in-1. 2-in-1. Boy, like,
Put them together and it just makes sense, is what my friend Olaf said.
just like snow and warm breezes. All right, let's get into the winner.
Summer. Tried.
I'm gonna tell him. No, don't you dare.
Don't you
All
dare.
right. I can see that we're starting
When
to
they're
feel
being
the dread.
racist, I'm gonna tell them. Don't you dare.
Do tell them they're being racist.
Yes, please tell them they're being racist.
Anyways, let's get. All right, who wants to do the drum roll? Because I will tell you the winner.
I'll do it.
And the winner of the season 1 chaos bracket goes to canceling Confederates.
Really?
Voting for that one.
We can't hear you.
Orgasmic.
Yeah, I kept voting for that one.
There we go. We kept voting the
My
canceling
kink has
Confederates.
been fulfilled.
Especially more now than ever. But canceling Confederates won 9-4. For a while, it was kind of neck and neck. And then the Instagram, for whatever reason, like the Instagram was like made the difference in all of it. So that was kind of a big one. The one thing I wanted to point out that canceling Confederates got 2 less total votes than the Crappies did. The Crappies had 11. Canceling Confederates had 9.
Ugh.
R.I.P. the Crappies.
The Crappies. Somebody's gonna be like, they got robbed, and I'm like, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. They got their shot. They were so close, but like I said, they didn't come up the day of the day that mattered. They fell short. You know, like you can win the battle, but you gotta win the war. So,
Yeah.
with that being said, we're not moving into the end. I did re-rank the episodes appropriately, or what I thought was appropriately. Re-ranking the episodes based off like this whole tournament thing, like you know how like in sports, Mike knows this, but like in sports they'll just be like, oh yeah, after the tournament we're gonna re-rank all the teams that were in the tournament and see if it worked out any better.
Yeah.
So I made this list. Basically, the best episode is canceling Confederates. Second best is Not Safe for France. Third best is the Crappies. But then I said the fourth best is Extra Fries instead of the non-sponsored pilot.
Yeah.
Because I look back and I'm like, the non-sponsored pilot just kind of squeaked by. It just kept squeaking by, and I'm like, I don't know how you're still alive. It's like, how are you still alive? And it's like, I don't know. But I give it. It's in the top. It's in the top 5 spot. Black Lives Matter protest is in 6th. TikTok v Trump is in 7th, and then Amateur Hour is in 8th. I'm not going through the whole list, but I will tell you what's in dead last.
What is it?
What's
Based,
in that?
based on the numbers,
I just know it.
Oh, Zach is glugging.
stay put. It's empty. Stay put. The absolute, like, quote-unquote worst episode is the holiday gaming episode.
Ooh.
Which is, it didn't get a lot of love in the first place.
Mm.
It didn't get a lot of love. It just didn't get a lot of love. Nobody seemed to, unfortunately, people really didn't care that we did, like, a holiday gaming episode. But people did care about the holiday episode itself, so, like, you know. No,
at least people love the holidays.
I know, people like holidays, not so much gaming holidays. That's a little too specific.
Yeah.
But that's, like, the quote-unquote worst episode. I mean, I do have a tier list, but I'm not talking about tier lists right now. And then there's everything in between. I mean, what are you gonna do? But I think with the way I have them ranked now, it might be a little more easier. Probably would still have a similar Final Four than we just had, so. But, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, right?
Absolutely.
So I guess with that being said, let's talk more about the second year coming up. Like, what do we want to do more? I mean, we made 1 year, and like I said at the start of the episode, we made it way past most episodes do. Most podcasts do. Literally half of all podcasts fail after 3 episodes. The other half continue on past 10 episodes.
Hey. I just hope we keep doing, you know, fun topics, but also serious topics. You know, I think a good mix is for the podcast. We don't make light of serious issues, but we try to make a, you know, at least a bit more, at least open up a conversation about it. And we make some jokes, but it's mostly, you know, rooted in something.
I'm hearing more too much time to think. That's what I'm hearing. Anybody else have a hope for the next year? Hope that we make it to the next year? I mean, I'm sure we will. We made it this far, didn't we?
Maybe meet in person when we're all back.
Yeah, we need to do one in person if we can.
We need to do one in person.
I'm getting my second vaccine in a few weeks. So.
That's right. You're getting your second vaccine. I already got my first shot a couple weeks ago.
I got my second shot yesterday.
Yep.
Is that why you're not feeling well today?
Yeah, that's why that fever came.
Yeah. No, I get
I had the aches and the headache. Pfizer was like, not today. I tried to do work in my backyard. I'm like trying to redo it and put like a little pool in for next summer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you're not fixing up your backyard today.
It's like, I don't want to go and do the work today. I don't really.
I got my second dose a few days ago, like right before we recorded our previous episode. I think we talked about it on that one. But yeah, I got it. I built a dresser with my dad. It's right there. Little white one right there. Did it right after the vaccine. Yeah. And I was on Discord with my friends playing video games, and all of a sudden I was like, guys, I don't feel good.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
Yeah, for like the next 24 to 36 hours, I had a fever, I had aches. The weird thing is my hips hurt more than anything, which was really odd. I couldn't get comfortable in my own bed, so eventually both my parents were at work and I was home alone, and I actually went and slept in my parents' bed for the first time since that was for like 15 years. But both of them came home to their adult daughter with their Care Bear comforter and 3 pillows just sprawled out in their bed. What are you doing?
Trying to figure out the last night. My parents' bed, like they were on the bed and we were all watching together, and I fell asleep like curled up on the foot of their bed, and my dad had to wake me up. He was like, "Yeah, you're basically just like what's happening." He woke me up like 6 hours later, and then I slept for like another 10.
My father.
I was like,
my father came in when he got home from work, and he like rubbed my head with his thumb. I don't know why he did that, but I woke up and he goes, "What are you doing, kiddo?" And I was like, "Well, I couldn't get comfortable in my own bed, so I decided to come to your bed because it's bigger, so I could actually sleep." And he goes, "You sound like you're delirious and have a fever." I'm like, "Daddy, I am delirious and I do have a fever." And he's like, "I'll leave you alone."
my father brought out the temple like forehead thermometer. It was like, you know what? Let's check you out. My parents are not like the super comforting kind when you're sick.
I feel that.
You know, I think with me, they just got over it eventually by like the age of 4. They were like, you know what? You've already almost died. We're kind of done with this.
You've had a kidney transplant. You'll survive anything.
You'll be fine.
We were like, we were in the hospital for 3 weeks.
I'll send you guys a picture of me on my deathbed in my parents' bed. You can use it to advertise this episode if you really want to, Zach. I give you permission.
I guess for the second year, I want to get those live streams that we keep teasing going. Like those live streams.
That would be fun.
Like the what? Yeah, we are. We are in season 2, but I want to get some of those like live streams going.
Yeah.
Like the tier list live streams, get those going, or just play games or whatever.
I would love for all of us to have a little barbecue in Animal Crossing at Zach's Island. Just saying.
Funny you mentioned Animal Crossing. I checked my island eval today, and I'm at 5 stars.
Hey, congratulations. I'm at 1.
Would you get anything for getting 5 stars?
I'm at 0.
Yes, a recipe for a golden watering can.
Oh, you can make golden roses with those.
She's got it.
I don't have a golden watering can.
I'll make it later. Yeah, we could do those live streams. I mean, do the in-person one. Maybe we'll do like an in-person vlog since most of us haven't seen each other in like a year. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, now with vaccinations rolling out and like all that, like restrictions are loosening, so maybe we can work something out, but we'll see. We'll have to see.
Maybe I can see, India. I'll be in Oswego in like May.
Ooh.
I could drive by wave at
Drive by wave. Hi, still not safe.
I got see, this is crazy, is because I had the Johnson & Johnson shot. Judge me all you want, but I had the Johnson & Johnson shot because Oswego was administering it, and like thousands of people got that shit. And then the FDA pulled that shit, so they stopped giving it out. And now they're giving out the Moderna shot like 3 weeks later, and I'm jealous. Like I love to want Moderna now, like because people are gonna judge me like, ew, you dirty Johnson & Johnson vaccinated bitch. Like,
oh my god,
you're making me feel like I'm not valid. Like I was just doing what this whole
You know what? We could have an outdoor lunch together. You know what? Johnson & Johnson's fine.
It's fine. It's fine, babe.
It's fine.
It's fine, baby. It's fine. I guess to kind of wrap this up, year 2, we gotta get our season on with the years. Maybe we'll fix that next year. We'll fix it next year. We're not gonna fix the timelines now. We're not Marvel. We can't afford it. Anyways,
We don't have that budget. We don't
got that kind of budget. Anyways, that's today's episode. Thank you so much for listening for 1 year. Thank you if you've been listening from the start. Thank you. We do appreciate you.
No, it's not easy to both listen and be in the episode, Zach. So I really appreciate you thanking me. Oh, you're talking to the audience again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my favorite tonight.
Thanks, Sarah. I love you. I love all you guys, and I'm glad we made it to 1 year without either quitting on each other or quitting in general. I love you guys.
Have you noticed that we kind of work well together? I mean, we're like the Guardians of the Galaxy. We just get it done.
Even though we talk shit about each other the whole time while we're doing it.
What?
Guardians of the Galaxy without Chris Pratt because he sucks.
Somebody said it.
Somebody had to say it.
As adorable as he is, he sucks.
I never saw Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my god,
Sarah, you keep exposing yourself.
Between music and movies.
I watched WandaVision. That was it.
That was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Fantastic. I thought we were
As
talking
much
about
as I wanted to shit
WandaVision.
on Wanda, I wanted to shit on Wanda so much, and everybody on Twitter is
It's
like,
like-
"Wanda's the best person ever! Oh my god!" And I'm like, "No, fuck that bitch, the criminal."
And there you have it.
There
Anyways,
you have it.
you can find us on
That's
our,
all there is to say.
that all there is today to say, except for Mike's profile picture is a spoiler out of context for episode 4 of.
I'm really
You
glad you're
don't know.
keeping up with your promise, Mike, that you're going to change your profile picture every week until you get the webcam. So thank you.
I'm going to break my promise for a little bit. Next episode, I'm just going to keep this because I like it so much.
It's
Mike,
great. It's
no,
from
you
me.
promised.
We'll figure it out
Come
later.
on.
Maybe I'll just throw up a meme instead over Mike. Maybe I'll put advertising. Maybe like you can advertise over Mike's face the entire episode. Anyways, that's today's episode. Remember, follow us all the social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe there on
Also,
YouTube. If you don't know where to find any of this, the poorlywrittenpodcast.com has everything, including streaming platforms. Wow. What a concept.
Amazing.
Anyways, that
Revolutionary.
very original. Anyways, that's today's episode. Let's do a 1-year anniversary goodbye, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Jazz hands, everybody.
Hooray! We made it 365 days
Yay.
without getting canceled.
Yay.
Yay!
Dude, hold on. Hello? Shit, we've been canceled.
Darn. Those
Darn.
damn Karens.
So
Yeah, we
close.
put the for a year.
Nice knowing you guys.
All right, the bit's over.